Greetings and welcome to episode 5 of LGR Thrifts, where I'm going out to different thrift stores, seeing what I can find, and buying stuff as it suits my tastes. And yes, this time we are going back to the southwest Chicagoland area to take a look at another couple stores that we didn't hit up in the last episode, and we'll go from there. Let's go thrifting! First up here is another store southwest of Chicago, good old Goodwill. And like most good Goodwills, it's full of goodwill inside, which means a lot of clothing and housewares, and a relatively lackluster electronics section, although there are one or two interesting things in here. Something that looked like a PDA, which was actually electronic Sudoku, a bare PS1 with writing on it, and nothing comes with it for $20, are they kidding? One of these tiny little TVs, which I really find intriguing. I own one, but I'm always on the lookout for more if they have inputs on the back for RCA or even RF. Over in the furniture section, I found an oven? Who the heck would be interested in an oven from Goodwill? Oh, this guy. Oh, don't mind me, carry on, Oven Man. Ooh, organs. This one by Kahn, I suppose? I don't know. It's an organ. It didn't work, sadly. Or maybe it did, but it wasn't plugged in. But I like organs. Man, they got everything at Goodwill, even the kitchen sink. Or maybe that's a bathroom sink. Sadly, this didn't work either. Ugh, I needed water. Always gotta check out the board games, not only because occasional interesting board games, but the possibility of big box retail PC games. And looky here, a copy of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire CD-ROM 2nd edition. Was actually kind of interested, but for $4 and being as beat up as this, I don't think so. I did, however, run across this, the Corel Super 10 Kids Entertainment Pack. Apparently it's 10 super pieces of software for kids. Box is a little beat up, but I can kind of repair that. This is too intriguing to pass up. Speaking of intriguing, there was an NES, Nintendo Entertainment System action set for $150, and it was duct taped up, and who knows what was missing? Yeah, I don't think so. Keeping the Nintendo action going, ran across a copy of Mario Teaches Typing 2 for DOS and CD-ROM, a PS1 game called Bowling. Yeah, by the same company that did that racing game I got for PS1 in the last episode. Unfortunately, this one had no disc inside. Aw, hey, Cosmopolitan Virtual Makeover. Oh man, I was wanting a copy of this as a kid. Ended up getting several interesting loose PC games in here. Blood Rain, Dinosaur Adventure 3D, of course Cosmo Virtual Makeover, Mensa, The Ultimate Challenge, Barbie Ocean Discovery, Call of Duty United Offensive, I Can Be a Dinosaur Finder, Al Unser Jr. Arcade Racing, and of course Mario Teaches Typing 2. Next up is a shop we just kind of ran across. Didn't know if it was anything good, called Neat Repeats Resale. Looks like a little consignment shop, pretty typical stuff inside, mostly clothing, odds and ends, that kind of stuff, but I did happen to find a section of media. And there was a selection of edutainment goodness, Super Solvers, Spellbound, Jumpstart Kindergarten, Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Games, and Math Munchers Deluxe. Already own all of these. Checking the toys and board games, and hey, what do you know? Freddy Fish's One-Stop Fun Shop. It's like a Freddy Fish print center. Could not pass that up because humongous entertainment. Over in the CD-ROMs, nothing really in here. A handful of GameCube and PlayStation 2 games that were either not interesting to me, were too expensive, or I already had them. Whoa, what is this? Strip quilting? Well, I'm intrigued. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, wait. That's a different kind of strip quilting. Author Diane Wold leading me on. And right next to the same store is another place called New Uses, the resale home store. And this is interesting. It kind of reminds me of like everything from Big Lots in the past 20 years just got vomited into one single shop. It's a lot of housewares. I mean, a lot. Appliances, kitchen utensils, dishware. Approximately every piece of tacky, lame artwork that you've seen hanging around in your great-aunt or grandparents' house over the last 40 years. Seriously, this is an impressive collection of tack. A nice little hutch desk here that I tried out and closed my finger in. That kind of hurt. Found a fine example of a black cock. Some of the scariest lamps that I have ever seen in my life. Holy freaking nutsacks. Over in the board game section, I did find one PC game, Battleship, the FMV game from the late 90s. It's actually a pretty cool little game, but I already own it boxed. They did have a separate case full of console games and stuff like that. Nothing interesting in here at all. It's the same story, stuff I already have or overpriced or just not that interesting. There was a $25 Xbox with some stuff with it, but again, don't really care. Same with the Atari Flashback 4. Well, I think it's time to get out of here and head back to North Carolina, where I head back to my favorite Goodwill. And it looks like the construction is still ongoing even after a couple weeks. Making some progress though, completely expanding from what it looks like. Inside to the good old media section and found a copy of Tony Hawk's Proving Ground for the PlayStation 2. Didn't realize it came out for that system. Also a copy of Pinball Hall of Fame, the Gottlieb collection. I've actually been wanting this, so not bad. A loose copy of The Sims 3, no serial code though, so even though it was only $3, it's more or less completely useless. Ah man, one of these things, I've seen kids using these at wherever kids do things. These Leap pads, they're like iPads for kids. Frickin' spoiled brats nowadays, having all this cool tech. Best I had was Teddy Ruxpin. Over in the case, we've got the usual selection of newer games for not the greatest prices, as well as some Game Gear and Nintendo Game Boy Advance games. Grabbed a few of these, I'll show you what they were later. Oh man, I used to have this rock tumbler as a kid, the Rolling Stones rock tumbler. I used it once, made a huge mess, and ended up with a bunch of rocks I did absolutely nothing with. Over in the office supplies, ended up finding one of these. This is a Tandy floppy disk holder for 5¼ inch floppies. I don't normally get these, but when they're from a company like Tandy or IBM, I always do. And before we head out, I always have to check out the electronics because you never know what you'll Oh, what is it? Oh, get it away! Ah! On to another Goodwill, just down the road. Oh sweet, a mini fridge, I could use one of those. Except it felt like dried vomit and smelled like dead everything. I think I'll pass. Assorted old LCD monitors, speakers, car stereos, cheap synthesizers, the works. Nah. On to the DVDs and CDs, and hey, a copy of Deus Ex: The Conspiracy for the PS2. I've always wanted to try that. A couple James Bond games, which I would have gotten, but they were missing the discs. Also a copy of PsyOps: The Mindgate Conspiracy. I've heard interesting things about this one, so gotta get it. A copy of Dawn of War 2 for the PC. I know practically nothing about it, but it's made by Relic, so I'm Amongst the junk CDs, I found a copy of Motocross Mania for the Sony PlayStation 1. Sounds generic. It's mine. Also found a lone Dreamcast game. Man, these poor things are always alone. This is NBA 2K1, which I normally don't care about, but is actually a pretty decent sports game. And hey, cool borders too. Time for another Goodwill. Let's see what they got hiding inside. Wonder if they have junk. I hope they have junk. Hey, junk. Nice. Looks like a copy of Beyblade. Nope, copy of NFL Blitz. Also would have grabbed Ultimate Ninja here if it had the manual, but it does not. Copy of Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. If it weren't $15, I would have grabbed it. Some keyboards. Yep, definitely some keyboards. And a hairdryer. Oh, cool. Well, I'm out of here. On to the next Goodwill. The same one I found those cool Hot Wheels speakers at. Some CDs. Icewind Dale. That would have been a nice find. I already have a box, though. Some big box PC applications. Almost grab Hallmark Card Studio, but I didn't. And same with Scrapbook. I don't care. Do not need. Your PC made easy. Must be easy. This lady's holding these things up with one hand. Looks like just a random compilation of sample software. I'm not sure how this makes your computer easier, it just makes it more useful. Over in the DVDs, got some PS2 games, Killzone, without the manual. Full of GameStop stickers, I'll pass. Same with Hitman 2, Now this is more my style, the National Telephone Directory on CD-ROM. What in the world? Holy CDs! There's 7 frickin' discs with practically every phone number from the United States in late 1992. So cool, I actually looked up my old address and phone number from back in the day, and well, there it is. Kinda creepy. Irrelevant info now, but still. This is a fascinating little device, a Pro Junior handheld game thing. I'm not even sure what it is. I mean, I know what it is, but I'm not familiar with it. It's like a little LCD thing with multiple games on it. Would have grabbed it if it weren't completely broken, because these little things do interest me. Not much to look at in the electronics, but I did find this old Magnavox radio. And only $10? That's not bad, so I had to check this thing out. So just take it over to the outlet, plug it in, and oh my word, this thing only made terrifying noises and smelled like every kind of burning electronics I've ever smelled in my life, so I kind of left it on the shelf because I do not have the know-how to repair these. And that is all for the haul of episode 5. Total for everything came to about $60. We've got 25 to 27 games here, depending on what you want to count as a game, a couple pieces of odd software, and a floppy disk holder from Tandy. And yeah, those Game Gear games, I ended up getting Mortal Kombat 2, Aladdin, and NBA Jam for the Game Gear, as well as Midnight Club Racing for the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, not the most exciting haul I've ever had or anything, but there are several things in here that I have either been interested in for a while, just strike me as intriguing or rather unknown, or just captivate my imagination for one reason or another. And hey, that's half of what doing all this thrifting is about, finding stuff that is just kind of off kilter. Things that maybe nobody has heard of or nobody cares about, and giving them another home and maybe even a feature on LGR someday, who knows. And that is all for episode 5 of LGR Thrifts. Come back next time to see what in the heck we actually run across next. And if you would like to see more, why not click on some things on the screen because they go places showing more that I do. And there's also Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and subscribing, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for watching.